Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Reus. Reus is a little bit of an older game, but I thought we've been playing the same things on the channel for a little while. This will be a nice thing to mix it up, a short series on a game that came out a while ago that I think maybe a lot of people don't know about and that I absolutely adore. So Reus is the first game from Abbey Games, which is the studio that went on to develop Renowned Explorers. So if any of you have been with the channel a long time, you know how I feel about that game, you know how much I thought that game was fantastic, and this is actually the reason that I bought that game in the first place. So for our first game here, we're going to take it easy, take it slow. One of the things that's great about Reus is that it has a very relaxed atmosphere. It's just a super chill game. So what's our deal? What are we doing here? We are these four giants. I'm going to spread these guys out a little bit so you can see it better. Oops. We have here a rock giant, a swamp giant, a forest giant, and an ocean giant. And our job is to take this big blank world and make it attractive and inhabiting to people and let them build up their societies on it and then get too powerful and greedy upon it and hunt us for sport. That's basically how every game goes. But let's not worry about that being hunted for sport thing just yet. You just put that out of your mind. For now, let's just make some pleasant little areas for some people to live. So the ocean giant makes us an ocean, and that provides water to a portion of the planet's surface. You can see some of it's darker now. And then upon those moist parts of the planet's surface, let's just encourage a little bit of growth, shall we? You can see here we've got a nice swamp going, and we're going to put up a forest as well. And we're going to pull all of our giants over here, so we got some important things to do. So, humans need a couple of things. First of all, they need environments. Nobody wants to live on a blasted rock plain. But the other thing that they need is resources. So we're going to have our forest giant make a fruit plant. Humans love fruit. I'm a human, I can tell you from personal experience. Fruit's great. Alright, so what have we done here? We've made some blueberries. That's pretty good. Humans like blueberries. And indeed, here's a human. Our very first settler. So you can see the blueberry is providing 5 food. Humans love resources. Food, gold, and technology. So, humans will come to places where resources are, they'll set up cities, and they'll just walk around and be super charming and live their little lives. But eventually, they'll start to get some greater aspirations. For example, they might decide they want to build a school. The village wants to build a school for their children, but they can't do that unless they have 15 technology and 15 food. That makes sense. Those are the things I needed to go to school. So we have to improve the land within the city borders. You can see they put up these borders at the edges, such that there's 15 food and 15 technology here. And in order to do that, we can, first of all, place new plants and stuff that have their own resources, but we can also take advantage of the resources of the school itself. The school, through survival class, provides 5 food and 10 tech for each plant within its borders. So why don't we just put down another plant or two? You may notice that this, if you're doing the math here, you're like, wait a second, that challenge seems incredibly easy to satisfy. And you're right, it is. But things are going to get more complicated in a second. So you can see there's a significant cooldown on most of the giant's abilities. So why don't we just have the swamp giant over here, create another kind of plant, and then we're also going to have our ocean giant drop down some animals. We can use some animals for food. Now the animals aren't actually within the city border, but you can see here, animals roam around, and so they provide their resources to tiles nearby, the tile you put them on, and 2 tiles in either direction. So you can see here, what do we need? 15, so we're good. The city has 27 food within its borders, but it's not currently using all that food because it was too small. Cities grow as you give them access to more resources. You can see here, the numbers are increasing over time. And the further away the city's current used value is from the cap, the faster they will grow. Alright, what have we done? We've finished our school. So when you complete a project, the villagers offer you an ambassador. An ambassador unlocks new abilities on your giants. So for example, if we picked up this forest ambassador with our ocean giant, it would unlock the crystal aspect. if we did it with our forest giant, it would unlock the fruit aspect. Let's do that. So these aspects are things you can... Basically, they're like buffs you can cast on an existing plant or animal to make it more powerful. So let's, for example, let's have a look over here. This blueberry can transmute into better plants if it's given aspects. It can turn into a strawberry if it gets a leaf aspect, or an apple tree if it gets a fruit aspect. So let's go ahead and give it one of our new fruit aspects. Comes over here and he like shakes his head at it, and bam, apple trees. So the apple tree does different stuff, and it also is powering up our blueberries, because blueberries have a symbiosis bonus that gives them plus 10 food if they're next to an apple tree, or a dandelion or a strawberry. Apple trees get plus 8 food and plus 2 natura for each animal nest that is adjacent to them. We don't need to talk about natura just yet, but this is a good way to expand the value, or expand the number of resources available to a city. As time goes on, the city's borders will creep out. You can notice these the border here is a space further out than it used to be. But they'll grow faster if they have more resources, and eventually, as they continue to gain resources and prosperity, they'll start to ask for more projects to be completed, and you can upgrade the city up to 4 times. Alright, so right now, this city's chugging along. It's getting better, getting richer, getting more well-fed. Why don't we start up a second one? So let's pull our giant over here and put down some precious minerals. Give these guys some more resources to come to. As we expand the prosperity of the planet, we attract more settlers. So we do have a second settler ready, and shortly after we introduce some new resources into this landscape, we should see them settle nearby. So we've created a precious mineral, gave us a gate here in the swamp, and here comes our settler to make us a swamp village. Now if we complete a project in the swamp village, we'll get a swamp ambassador rather than a forest ambassador, and the swamp ambassador will unlock different abilities on our giants than the forest ambassador would. Now, the game ends in half an hour. You can see here 22:52 remaining time. We actually could start up another village, but for this first game we're just going to take it real easy here. And the goal of the game really is just to get the world's prosperity value as high as you can within the allotted time. But there's also challenges. If we finish a game with a forest village, a desert village, or a swamp village that has 100 prosperity, we'll unlock some new stuff. So that's going to be our goal for right now. Why don't we make a mountain and see if we can't start a desert village while we're doing this. Alright, so these guys want to make a tool shop. We need to have 15 wealth and 15 technology in the area to do that. And we'll get 10 wealth and 5 tech for each mineral. So I guess let's just make a bunch of minerals. In addition, we should check out what bonuses we get from our things. The symbiosis benefit of a gate is plus 10 wealth if next to an animal nest. So while our earth giant is over there making a mountain, why don't we make a... Wait, not you. You. Why don't we make an exotic animal? Because exotic animals provide wealth, and an animal nest being next to this gate will make it more valuable. Alright, come back here. So you can see mountains create deserts around them. We need this guy to give us some extra tech. We're pretty good on the wealth requirement, but we're going to need some technology in the city. So we can make an advanced mineral, which gives tech, and let's see what exactly that needs to get boosted. It'll give plus 6 tech and plus 6 wealth if next to another mineral. Okay, so honestly, I'm probably just going to put another marble down right next to it, and that'll provide well more resources than we need. In the meantime, if we want to get a desert village started, we are going to have to put up some resources. So let's throw an animal down in this desert, and that should attract some more people, since global prosperity is high enough. Alright, they'll get to 15 tech in use pretty quickly, I think. Oh, good. His cooldown's up. And you can see they tend to expand their borders when you give them more resources, too. They like to expand toward resources. Alright, so we're gaining very quickly in both wealth and technology, and that's creating greed. A little bit of greed isn't a big deal, but if the village gets enough greed, it'll start to get ideas. We'll talk about the consequences of that when we get to them. So what do I want to do here? I think let's pick up this ambassador with our giant. Now you have to advance your giants more or less evenly. You can't just pick up all of your ambassadors on the same giant right away. So we're going to have to spread them out over our guys. A new city has been founded, the Blue Castle clan. Cool little desert village with some kind of weird thing in the middle. And they also want a tool shop, but their tool shop's a little different. They get plus 10 wealth and plus 5 tech for each mineral within borders, which is it's like this one but backwards, right? Oh no, Industrious Smith actually is that's exactly the same. There's a couple of different bonuses for each type of project. Well, I mean this is easy enough to take advantage of, but we'll actually get we're going to get a totally different mineral from using the advanced minerals ability in a desert than we would in a swamp. Here we got marble. I'm not sure actually what we're going to get in the desert. We need wealth again though, so I'm going to come over here and have our swamp giant lay down an exotic animal. Oh wait, that's where we put our other animal. Let's go next to it. So here we've created some kangaroo rats. This is what our ocean giant made. And they get plus 2 food if a mineral is within their range. That's interesting. So why don't we have our earth giant put down a mineral at the extreme end of their range, and it'll buff up the food they produce, and that will affect all of the spaces they range over. So when you improve animals, it actually provides a much larger effect than when you just improve plants. Yeah, look at all the resources the city gets. So we made some stone, which gets plus 10 tech if it's next to a garden, and a tortoise, which gets plus 3 wealth if it's next to a plant. Well, you know what? I think we're going to replace these kangaroo rats with a plant. There we go. A little bit of extra wealth from the tortoise. Unfortunately, this is just a withered shrub. Plants don't do that well in the desert. But if we get over here and drop aspects on it, we can make it into something interesting. So it looks like barrel cactus give wealth. Why don't we pull our forest giant over here and drop a leaf aspect on this? Okay. Now, we also had another challenge start. This village, Darkport, has gotten large enough that it wants to upgrade its school. This civilization wants to build and maintain a university. So it still has the old bonus, but it also now gives plus 15 tech for each animal within the borders. And we have to get to 60 tech, 60 food, and 20 wealth. We actually will naturally climb up to 60 tech, and we already have over 60 food. But we need some wealth. So why don't we grab this guy and have him drop a wealth animal over here. And the city's borders have extended all the way to the water line now. Yeah, we'll go for a wealth animal. This is a dandelion. This dandelion's actually not doing very much for us. Could we upgrade it to something that gives wealth? Nope, nightshades give tech. We might want to get all of our giants over here. We're gonna have to figure some things out. So these guys give plus food if a blueberry is within range. Let's drop a wealth mineral here and see exactly what we get in a forest. And you know what? I would like it if he moved a little faster. So our giants also have some other abilities. Our ocean giant has a thing he can cast on other giants to make them move slightly faster. The speed gain isn't super noticeable, but as we pick up ambassadors, we upgrade our abilities and can make them more powerful and stuff. So we might be able to increase the speed boost of that. The ocean giant's ability also heals. Plus 10 wealth if next to an animal nest. Ah, but the symbiosis doesn't activate until there's already 10 wealth on the tile. So why don't we have plus 2 wealth if there's a mineral within animal range? Okay, why don't we have this guy come over here and drop some stoats. The stoats will have a bunch of plus wealth on them because there will be a mineral within their range, and that will increase the wealth on this tile, which will activate the symbiosis of the agate and give it another plus 10 wealth. Or at least it should. Oh, sorry, it activates with 10 wealth in use. That's not referring to what's on the tile. It's referring to wealth in use is the name of this number. So when this city climbs to 10 wealth in use, the agate will gain another 10 wealth because it's next to an animal nest. So this goal will take care of itself from here. And each one of these has a limited timer, but they're usually long enough that you're not in too much danger of running out of time. Alright, so let's go over to here. How's this going? This thing needs to climb. It's coming. Alright, the tool shop is complete, and we need to give somebody this desert ambassador. For a swamp giant, this unlocks the predator aspect, which generally will make an animal more dangerous. And that's pretty interesting. Let's get that. And we'll give him a little speed boost here. The game is just like super relaxing, and the art is really charming, and it just feels good. It feels good to play this game. I really, really like it. Alright, so you can see the city's now at 27 wealth because our agate finally turned on. So it'll climb to 20 by itself, and this village's prosperity value is currently 155. So that's going to nail us this challenge when the game ends in 13 minutes. This village hasn't started to upgrade its challenge yet, so we may need to increase its prosperity a little bit. Let's grab the ocean giant, have him come over here and drop maybe like a friendly animal. Oh, never mind, it was just taking a little bit of time. So we need to get a geologist. We need to get our wealth in use up to 65, our tech in use up to 75. There have to be at least 3 minerals nearby, and there have to be 3 mountain patches. Okay, this is a patch. You see how when I move my mouse it highlights an area where a thing can be put down. So this village has to have expanded over 3 mountain patches, which means we're going to have to get our earth giant over here. He's going to have to put down a mountain. I'm going to make it right here. If we raise the mountain such that it disrupts the actual village, and you can see where the actual village itself is here, that might destroy the village. I think it destroys the village, so we're going to want to be careful about that. The university completed, fantastic. And who doesn't have a guy yet? You don't. So the ocean giant picks up this forest ambassador and gains the crystal aspect, which can upgrade minerals with wealth and awe. We'll talk about what awe does in a little bit more detail later when we start to see the danger levels of our villages rise. Okay, so our earth giant is doing his thing. We need to encourage the village to expand over some more of this mountain. So what do we need? We need technology and wealth. Oh, and we turned these into stone. They used to be something else, but we changed the type of ground they were on. Mountain counts as desert, I believe. So let's replace this with a wealth thing. Yep. The gates are okay. So if we built another agate over here... we might want to replace this with an animal, actually. We've kind of disrupted the whole system that we had going. So let's get a wealth animal over here. How much do we need? What's the 65 wealth, 75 tech. So we're gonna need some more tech stuff too. Stone gardens give tech when they're next to plants, and we'll put a tech mineral over here as well. Let's just figure out what is in this area. So, oh, on mountains you make monols. So these guys give plus wealth and plus awe if they're next to a plant. How's our wealth threshold? Okay, we could put down a plant. That would be okay. There we go. That'll give a little bit of tech. This gives a lot of extra tech and natura if next to an animal nest. Oh man, we got... the whole world is going nuts now. Hold on. So we need to get our tech level up to 75. Let's have a look at the marble we just laid down. Plus 6 tech and plus 6 wealth if next to another mineral. So it would be pretty easy to just put down another one of those right next to it. Okay. There we go. 2 of 3 mountain patches. When the city borders push out a little bit more, that'll be better. Oh, actually, this is a problem. The city only has 2 mountain patches because it can't expand any further because the city border of Lightmouth is right here. Lightmouth is a new city. Well, I think we're going to do something kind of horrible. If you are upset by violence being done to innocent people for no reason, this might be a good time to close your eyes. One of the powers that our giants, some of the things that our giants can do will affect the villagers negatively. And we're just going to encourage these villagers to maybe resettle elsewhere. Okay, everything's fine. Nobody worry. They wanted to move, probably. Alright, this is a functioning plant already. I'm just going to lay down a little bit more stuff here in the hopes of... oh wow, another city spawned in that location instantly. Can we... if I raise up a mountain here, I'm worried that it might damage the geologist hut, but let's see. What if I expand the mountain a little bit? Well, okay, that worked. I didn't need to destroy those people at all. Alright, so we've got a new village, and they're eager to get going. They've started a shrine challenge. A shrine is being built by this pious village. They need food and wealth, and they'll get food and wealth for each animal that's nearby. So why don't we grab our ocean giant and have him put down a food animal, because wealth is going to be no problem at all. In fact, we can just put down both. Alright, so you can see the individual patches start to have huge amounts of resources on them. Our geologist is rapidly climbing toward victory here. Well, on the whole, I think we've done really well by these people. We have 7.5 minutes left, and we still have a large unsettleable area. So why don't we come over here with our ocean guy and put an ocean down right in the middle of this. Okay, these guys also want to make a geologist. Who would have thought? So this is a little bit easier. First of all, they already have a mountain, although we can grab this guy and we can bring the mountain to them a little bit. Make things a little easier. At least 3 minerals in the area, and they get 15 technology for each different mineral, and plus 10 wealth and plus 5 tech for each mineral. So we're going to want to... our mountain giant is going to be integral to the success of this this particular challenge. So as you can see, even though I described the game as being pretty chill, it can get hectic, especially if you get a lot of villages going quickly as you're trying to beat the timer on all the different challenges. Alright, the geologist is completed, and we now have upgrades on basically everybody. Or we have ambassadors on basically everybody. So let's see who wants a second one. If you... I was about to say you can upgrade the aspects, but actually I reset my save for this series so that we can start fresh. And it looks like we actually can't upgrade our aspect abilities yet. That's something that we unlock later. So for now, it's just about unlocking more capabilities. So now we've made the ability, we've created the ability to make plants toxic, which is, I guess, cool. Alright, we need to put down some more animals over here. Why don't you make us an animal right there? That will, by itself, get us to the food and wealth thresholds. Alright, why don't we look into upgrading a couple more things. So the stone garden can give us a lot of tech, and we do need a lot of tech. But we also want to have a variety of minerals in this area. So what could we upgrade this stone into? We could make it into copper with a reaction aspect, which unfortunately we don't have unlocked. Or we could make it into salt with a crystal aspect, which we do have unlocked. And then you should put down... We should put down a wealth mineral, because we are going to have more science from the Cave Explorer's ability. More technology, rather. Alright, and of course this wants to be next to an animal nest, which we know, and you can just make us an adorable animal real quick. So what is the wealth animal, or the exotic animal up on these mountains? I've never seen a mono before. I'm sure these are all real animals. They give wealth and awe if they're next to a plant. I mean, it's no sweat for us to just drop a plant right there. So, now our stone has its crystal aspect, giving wealth and awe. And we'll click here, and bam. Salt. So salt gives plus 5 awe for each animal nest next to it, and 5 tech and 5 wealth for each non-salt mineral next to it. But it needs 10 food and 10 technology in use in the village in order to be effective. So we were going to make this into a better plant, a barrel cactus. But we actually probably do want food in this area, right? So let's put down a new plant and make it into agave with a fruit aspect. And look, you can actually see for all of the different things you build, like this, they actually go to the mines and pull the resources out. And the art in this game is just super pretty. Okay, so agave gives a lot of food. Plus 8 food, plus 10 food if next to another plant. So that's pretty great. That'll give us enough food to turn on the symbiosis effect of the salt, which should get us easily to our goal, right? Yeah, plus 5 tech for each salt, non-salt mineral next to it. Okay, cool. We do, in fact, have enough worldwide prosperity for another village, but I don't know if we have the space for one. Alright, who wants to pick up a second thing? So, a desert aspect on the ocean giant will allow us to... A desert ambassador, rather, would allow us to unlock the monsoon ability. Let's not get into that yet. That's a little fancy. What is this? The hunt aspect. Sure. It's an upgrade for our animals. I think we're a little... We got lots of plant upgrades. We don't have that many upgrades for our other types. So, actually, I guess we have plenty of room for more villages. That's right. Well, let's put down a swamp over here. And we'll have our, now that he's got his ambassador, we'll have our forest giant come over here and expand this large existing forest. So, worldwide prosperity is at 603. That's, like, pretty okay. We're just about to run out of time. I think we're going to be able to finish this, possibly. Actually, we should probably try to juice up the tech here. Unfortunately, we don't have all of the upgrades unlocked yet. These challenges will unlock more types of upgrades for us. So, what could we do here? Plus 8 tech if next to stone. Why don't you come over here and put down some stone? I think this is stone, right? Advanced mineral in the desert area. Yep, good. Okay. And another thing we can do to try to push our thresholds is we can drop aspects on our things, because the aspect itself does give extra resources in addition to allowing you to upgrade things. And as you upgrade things, you unlock more aspect slots for them. So right now my only concern is getting this number to 75, which we should be able to do here. Remember, we're not actually raising this number, we're raising that. Alright, why don't you pick her up? It doesn't really matter, we're out of time. But on the whole, I think we've done a pretty good job. We've developed an interesting and prosperous planet. And one of the things I love is that the visuals of the little villages actually change as you complete the different projects. So you can see, like, the citizens are wearing different kinds of clothing, they construct different kinds of buildings. They might even have different little conversations based on the projects that you've completed in their area. So, basically, what I'm trying to say here is that I think everything about Reus is super, super well done. Alright, when the timer runs out, the giants are starting to lose their enemy and will start to sleep between now and 1 minute. Basically, like every 15 seconds, one of the giants goes to sleep. So you have this moment to finish rushing around and trying to complete projects if you're really close to something. You can see our... let's see, who's fallen asleep first? Zip around to our different giants. Everybody's still active for a little while. I don't know, put down some plants or something. We don't have anything particularly pressing for them to do. We're not going to be able to complete another challenge in time, and completing a school wouldn't be valuable to us anyway. Oh, he's getting sleepy. The Earth Giant has lost consciousness. And so we fall asleep for an era, and we come back to a flat planet, and start the whole thing over again, basically. Give these people some fruit. The last thing we do before we abandon them to their own devices. We'll give them some blueberries. So that's a game of Reus. When the game ends, we'll accomplish all of these tasks. We'll unlock some new things. Alright, so the Swamp Tribe has given us white willows. We've also unlocked gray foxes, papayas, foxglove. I apparently accomplished a ton of things. Deer, deer, onyx, and tapers. That's pretty adorable. So you can see we have quite a few things left to unlock. I think we'll probably play through unlocking most of the things before we finish the series. But that's Reus. Come back next time. We're going to see if we can't come up with some different developments, unlock some different things, and basically just have a really chill, relaxing time. And we'll see you then.